Hey Crafty Peeps! I have a different video for you today. I really wanted to challenge myself with like a furniture flip and maybe some build, and that's what happened, and I'm really proud of myself, and I wanted to take you along that journey. I'd also like to mention that when I do a makeover, what I like to do is sell all the things that I'm not going to use anymore, and then I use that money to buy the new pieces, to buy the wood, the paint, whatever it might be, to make over, my space. So that is what I did. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because the next video is going to be about the thrift flips and high-end decor that I can make for this living room with very little money or money I used from selling items. All right, let's get into it.
Here's a tip if you have trouble finding items in Home Depot. Put all the things that you plan to buy in your cart online. And then when you get to the store, click on the item and there you'll see this is going to be in aisle 9, bay 1. So now when you get into the store, you'll know exactly where to go for that product. I do this, it makes it so much easier than trying to find an employee and ask them where it is or just walking around wandering for myself. At the time of filming this corner wasn't exactly decorated. I just kind of had some stuff on the shelves there. But this is my little corner here, and it's normally decorated cute, but it's just kind of got a bunch of stuff and looks crowded. So I was looking at some of these sideboards here. I really liked these, but they were out of my budget. Found this one on Facebook for $100, but that was going to be a lot of work. I really do like the look of this one. So I thought, why not just buy another one and make a long one? However, I was going to have to deal with this overhang of the top. So I went ahead and I purchased one, and I decided to take the top off the old one, not put the top on the new one, and this is what I get. So I went down to Home Depot and I bought 2 of these boards. They're just wide fence boards, and I cut them down to size to go over the top. And then I used this wood finish in classic gray from Minwax, and this is what it looks like. It's very gray outside, but it's warmer inside. And then using some of this white wax from Behr, I go ahead and cover that. You can see the one on the right has it and the one on the left does not. And then I glued those 2 boards together. I brought them in and I put them on top. You can't even tell that this is not the top that came with these. It matches identically. And I'm just so happy with the way it turned out, and I think my corner looks so much better. I wanted to quick and show you 2 items that I received from VEVOR that are on sale right now. One is this button maker. This is all that you get with it. You can make so many buttons. You can make 2 different sizes, the mini size and the regular size, and it comes with the fronts, the backs, everything you need to get this started. One of the features I really like that it came with is 2 different of these circle cutters. So you can just print out whatever design you want, and then you just take this, lay it over your design, and then it has this little blade right there, and then you just turn it around like this and it cuts out a perfect circle. And then you can just start making as many buttons as you would like. And so this is a really fun activity that I do with my daughter. So you just put the top in right here, you put your design on top, and then you use the little clear plastic, and then you just push it down into the machine, pull the lever, and it makes the top of your button. So you'll see right here, and this is something that even my 8-year-old daughter can do. Every time her friend comes over, she's like, can we make buttons? And it's fun because they can either draw or they can print something off of the internet and they have their own custom buttons. Here I'm putting the backing down and feeding it into the machine. Pull the lever, and that's it. And then if you want to make the mini buttons, you just switch out the top there and you can make the little tiny buttons. This is great for school fundraisers, all sorts of things, and right now it's 30% off. details in description. Tufting is a new fun hobby to do. You can make rugs and things that hang on the wall. As you can see, here are some examples from the VEVOR website, and it comes with a tufting gun. And what you do is you feed your yarn through it, and then you can just pull the trigger, go down your canvas, and you can make all sorts of patterns. This is everything that it comes with. It is such a fun and new craft hobby that you can take up, and this particular one is 10% off right now, so make sure you check out my description box. This was my current coffee table. Nothing really wrong with it other than it was really dark. So I went ahead and I purchased this one off Facebook Marketplace for $50. I loved that it had drawers. So this one was an inspiration piece. I love that wood color. I actually followed a tutorial on YouTube to get that color. I do use those products, but we end up going with Plan B. But here are some of my inspiration pieces. Okay, so now that I have this coffee table home, I think I spent too much money for 50 bucks. It's in rough shape, but I end up fixing it. Okay, so the first step is to strip the paint. Get all this reddish paint off. I do this by using citrus strip. You want to apply it very liberally. I didn't put as much on as I should, but you definitely want to apply it liberally. Again, I was following a tutorial that I will post in the description, and this is what happens. So you can cover it with saran wrap here, and you can let it sit. I let it sit for too long. I'm in California. It dried too fast. So what I learned is you don't have to let it sit as long as I did, which was overnight, and you need to apply it more liberally. Now, here was the issue with this table. The top must have had some sort of coating or veneer or something, because the citrus strip did absolutely nothing on the top. And I don't think it was user error on that, because I ended up trying it again, doing it the right way, and still nothing came off the top. It did work, however, really great on the drawers. So this is what it's supposed to do. See how it just goops right off and exposes the wood? So that is how it's supposed to work. So what I learned about this project is the wood in that coffee table was different kinds of wood, and you really don't know what you're gonna get until you start a project like this. So this is one of those where I had one thing in mind and the second thing happened. So that last picture there was how much I sanded, and my battery ran out of my sander. So I was being impatient while it was loading, reloading, and so I decided to try the second method. So you can use your heat gun and heat that top part off, heat the paint, and then it scrapes. Then I learned actually what makes it work even faster is if you kind of are heating your metal spatula here, and it really peels up nice. But it does kind of have a smell to it. So if I had a choice, I would just continue to sand, but I have a battery sander, and the battery, I have 3 batteries, and it only lasted me approximately 45 minutes with all of them. And so I didn't want to just sit around. I wanted to work on this. So this was kind of my second option. So one that has plugs in would be much better. So then I ended up using a detail sander that I purchased after, because I needed to get into those crevices. So here we are getting most of it off. I will say it was a very long project, and then it started to rain. Yeah, just a random rain. Okay, so we're back at it. I have these little tiny areas that still had that paint. So I grabbed one of these finger sanders off Amazon. Everything will be linked down below to get really into those crevices. Now, the reason I'm being so detailed is because I want to do that stain like that first one that we saw. And this is how it turned out. You can see it is so splotchy. There's that big spot off to the left there on the bottom where it didn't even take. Because I didn't know exactly what I was getting underneath, unfortunately, that wasn't going to work. So I had to go to plan B, which was to paint the whole thing. Now, if you were going to paint the whole thing, you really wouldn't have had to do so much work on getting the old paint off. But, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. So here it is painted. I added new drawer pulls to the fronts of the drawers, and then I thought it needed a little more accent. So I grabbed these corners off of Amazon, and they have the tiniest little pin nails that you have to put into them. So just to hold it in place, I used my little double stick tape while I hammered it, and that worked great. And here is the finished coffee table. I do love how it turned out. You can see it turned out much differently from the original one that I really wanted. But you know what? Sometimes plan B has to happen. And instead of painting inside the drawer there all the way on the bottom, I did paint the insides. I added some of this contact paper or wallpaper from Dollar Tree, and it looks so good. I really wanted large statement piece floating shelves. Okay, so I knew this was going to be tough, but I went for it. So what you do here is you basically build a box with one side open. So I used a 1x4 for the front, and then it's for the sides, and then I used what would be a 1x8, but it measures a 0.75 by 7.25 on the top and the bottom. Now what happened was this wood sat here for a little while, and as you saw, it rained, and then it's sunny and hot and rained, and so my boards got a little bit warped, of course. But I did my best to line it up, and that is where wood filler comes so in handy. I went ahead and filled it in, and my dog did not leave my side. He was there throughout the whole thing. This is what it looks like after it's sanded from the wood filler. Looks great. I brought them into my studio to paint. Originally was going to stain them, but went ahead and went with this paint because I wanted them to pop off the wall. And then I used the white wax that you see there on the top. And now I have to build the base. Now this is what's going to go on the wall so that my floating shelves can just hang over them, just go right onto the wall. And I'm going to use these screws to get them in the wall, and this is what it looks like. And just so you know, that is a 1x2x8. And as you can see here, the shelves just slipped right on. And then I took my brad nailer across the top, and I got it all connected to those wall braces. So now they are nice and secure on the wall, and this is what they look like and how I decorated them. I am so excited about how this corner turned out. It just looks so high end to me, and I'm just so proud of myself for making these shelves. They were definitely a labor of love. You're going to want to make sure you stay tuned for the next video because I will show you the thrift flips that I did as well. Okay, so these are my end tables. They match that coffee table I had originally. Well, I didn't want them so dark, so I decided to go ahead and make these over as well. So I tried the easy off method instead of the citrus strip, just to kind of see if that worked any better. So you put that on, and then you wash it off with warm water, and you can see that the stain is coming up. And then once you do this, you rinse it off. This is what it looks like. Didn't really take a whole lot off. So I decided to sand it down, and guess what? It is particle board. And it got warped from the water and did not, yeah, I ruined it. So I jump on Amazon. I found these for only $60. I actually like them way better, and they also have a drawer. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now, a million times better. Again, had to go with Plan B. I hope you enjoyed these furniture flips. I'm so proud of them. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you see next week's thrift flips that I used to decorate all of this new furniture.